Mic check. Mic check. So I am like 10 seconds into this. And I'm not sure how I feel about this music already. I know a lot of people are indifferent to the music. I thought about mixing it up a little bit, and something else that would be royalty free. And I feel like I'm setting myself up for a video that shouldn't be on YouTube. Thoughts, comments? I know I'm getting started here. There's not very many people in here yet. Nobody so far. It is Thursday, right? It is. Hey, a viewer. Just one, though. That's okay. We don't need a bunch. I'll hang out with whoever shows up. Just that one. Alright, I can't do this music. This ain't working. Okay, we're just going to go back to our OG for now. Let's see. Waiting on the comic series reviews. Want to know if that new connection piece is any good. One, I think the connection piece theory is... what's the word I'm looking for? I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for off the top of my head. I don't believe in it. I have a lot of friends that swing a lot of Eastons and have seen that crack show up, and none of them have felt any different than any other bat. I think it's just everybody taking their bat inspecting skills to the next level and finding anything they can to get excited about. There may be people that have had issues with those connection pieces, but I have not. Jason, how you doing? I will move. Jason, do you have any kind of link or anything to this mic and moving their operations to China, or any credible source of that? I've seen that a few different places, but haven't gotten anything, like, I guess you might say, confirmed on that. Like, I can't find like a credible source. That's not saying there isn't one, but I can't find one. What's up, Mike? How you doing? Ethan with the Easton. I did try the Zwap, I think is how you say it. It was actually pretty good. The Ghost series stuff has been kind of weird. But let's see, what was it? I think I swung it in 19. I didn't try the 20. No, because the Ghost Mondo was a 20 model. So the 19 Ghost was actually kind of nice. It was still a mid-loaded job that I didn't really care for, but the performance was actually there. It actually felt pretty good. I didn't swing anything from 20, and then I swung the Zwap, which I think is this year's comic series ASA bat, and I actually liked it. It was nice. I had a horrendous round of BP, just me, myself, but thankfully the guys bailed me out and made something of a video out of it. So that'll be coming up soon. I've got a ton of content. I need to just like quit being lazy and post. Maybe I should just like make you guys sitting here and watching me edit videos all day. All right, Jason, I got your link here. Let me read over this real quick. How's everybody doing today? Always like to ask that question because I got to check on my people. Got to check on my peeps. All right. Ethan is good. ARAM, how long does it take to edit one video? It depends on honestly, it depends on the quality of the content I want to put out. I could smash a video out and have it done in probably, honestly, if you want me to be genuinely honest, less than half an hour. If I didn't have to do all the lab stuff where I do the compression stuff, trying to like overlay everything and get all that stuff put together. I think I actually forgot one here not too long ago, but trying to put what bat we're reviewing down in the corner, just like a little picture of it, just something to like, you know, kind of spruce things up a bit, you might say. Most of the time it's the little details that take a lot of time. I mean, I could sit here and edit a video that I took and have it smashed out in seriously half an hour, voiceover and everything. It's just the little details that usually add up and cost me a lot of time. So yesterday, if you guys did see the video where I swung the Jenny and Genesis, I shot that video at, let's see, we met up at 8:30. We left the field at a little after 10. We smashed it out yesterday. It usually takes us a good 2 hours to hit, but we spent a lot of time like standing around shooting the breeze and that kind of thing, but we didn't. And let's see, I left the field a little after 10, and I did get distracted at a couple different points in there, but I think the review, I got it done. Was like a little after 1 o'clock. I want to say about 1:30ish. So I got home, took a shower, got cleaned up, started editing at 11 and finished up at 1:30, and that was basically 2 reviews. I had to condense a lot of that down. So I've been used to making 6 or 7 minute reviews for each bat, and I think one of the most time consuming parts was trying to like break all that down and make 2 videos that were kind of short, quick, and to the point. I smashed 2 bats into one there. But that video, just giving an example, that video took me about 3-ish hours, give or take the downtime there. But if I was just to straight cut up a video and just slap a voiceover on top of it, I guarantee you I could have one done at 30, maybe 40 minutes tops. Because the nice thing when it comes to editing, pull this up here. Close. Let me slide this over for you guys. This. Okay. So here is yesterday's video. This is everything from my editing program. This is all the swings and all the stuff that got chopped up. Every one of these I had to cut by hand. There's no other way to do it. I could leave this stuff uncut, yes, but I personally don't like watching reviews where it's 2 or 3 bumps, or you want to stand around and dig your nuts out of your thighs, or that kind of thing. Like I want the action. I want it moving. I want it to be constantly moving. So this is just a necessity for me. Like there is times where, if there's a succession of swings in a row, I have gotten to the point that I'll kind of leave those in there just because it is easy to kind of get in a groove of watching that stuff. And there's times where I edit and I catch myself doing the same thing. It's like, oh, there's 7 swings in a row, all good ones. And I sat there and watched the whole thing and didn't realize it. But this is yesterday's video. So we got the voiceover down here, then the audio clips from it. I'll show you what I mean. It's really easy to do, actually. So I can sit here and just basically jump to each clip. Each one of these little lines you see right here is basically a spike in the audio. Like you can see here where I'm talking, you can see where it's going up and down, up and down. And then where these are is where there is a ball struck in the video. Or let's see, there's another one here. There's all kinds of different things. Like this is one we started yelling. Okay, that's me. So we were yelling about something here. We were yelling about something here. You can just see the spikes in the audio, because here's what start a new one. I'm just gonna grab something here. See what it is. I'm just gonna grab a random video. So you can see, get that OCD. So you can see here, basically, every one of these is going to be a swing. Oh man, that's not playing very well. Must be because I'm trying to stream and do this. So there's a swing there. There's a swing here. There's a swing here. There's a swing here. So it's pretty easy to do if you're just wanting to absolutely cut it down and get, you know, the most information in one little spot you can. So it's not too terribly bad. So like I said, if I was just to smash out, like this is obviously old footage, but if I just wanted to smash this out and make a review, throw a voiceover on top of it and go, 30, 40 minutes tops. But putting all the little details in this stuff can easily soak up another hour and a half or so just for me. Maybe there's faster ways to do things, I'm not sure. But that's kind of about the amount of time it takes me. So, boom. Caught up with these comments here. What y'all talking about? Oh, Jason, you sent me that article. I picked up my phone and then got distracted. Oh, he was talking about a Monsta. Oh, I've still got the Monsta. I tell you what. Hey, I tell you what. You want me to spoil you guys a little bit? Let me see if I can find. Oh wow, this is all uncut. I haven't touched any of this yet. Okay, so let me see if I can find.
Hey, just double checking. It is running.
Picking on old D-Ray. No, I don't want to download the update. Let's get weird. I'm going to pause you. Pull you up and slide you over here. Here's my man Dustin. Swinging the bombardier, as they say.
Oh, hotter than donut grease. Threw up in my mouth a little. Another one? Yeah, grease.
Here is the footage. It's all
Sounds good.
right
Sounds
here.
better when he swings it.
Did I go through everything down into shortstop?
Grass wasn't there. They'd be getting through there quick.
So this thing sounds ridiculous on this day, and this is part of my complaint with my experience with the Monstas. This was one of them. Dude, it was, I think it was close to 10 in the morning. See ball. It was close to 10 in the morning. Ooh, one hop. And it was already, like, it was over 80. I want to say it was close to 85 degrees. The air was so thick, you could have cut it with a knife. It was just miserable outside already. It's one of the hotter days of the year at that point in the year. And this bat was just crushing the ball. I mean, just destroying it. It was living up to everything that everybody said it was. And that doesn't mean it was, oh my God, this is the hottest bat I've ever swung. It's, damn, this is nice. I can see why people get excited about these things. And then we hit it. So just to backtrack here, we hit it a little bit on one day, and I was kind of like, this thing's weird. I'm not a big fan of it because it was like a 70% swing. Hit it better than a full swing. And then we come out here and hit it on this day, and it was like a 70-degree day on that day. Come out here and hit it on this hot day, and it was just launching balls. Let's see. So that was Dustin's round. So here's mine. This wasn't a very good round if I remember right, but I don't
Keep
care.
everything broken up.
All right. So this thing was heavy too, by the way. But anyway, so the hotter it was, temperature-wise, the better the bat was. Oh, look out.
We call those
The hotter it was temperature-wise, the better the bat got. And then, so we hit it on a cool day. It was okay. Hit it on this day, which was hotter than hell, and it did great. And then hit it on another 78-degree day, and it was in the morning, and it was just kind of back to like blah again. I just don't. I don't like how they're so temperature variant, because I start to ask around, ask a few questions like, hey, you know, is this normal for these bats? And they said, yeah, some of the bats do that. They're better on hot days than they are cooler days, and it has to do with the ball. Basically, the ball breaks down, it gets really soft because you're hitting 52s, so it's just an absolute pillow, and that just jives better with the FIB that's in the bat. I guess there's different versions of the technology that don't do that, and some still do, some still don't. But my number one rant with my experience with this one and a few of the others, watch out, is the fact that it's so temperature dependent. I don't like that. You can pick up a flipper, you can pick up a Mikan, you can pick up an Anarchy. None of it is temperature dependent. Like, yeah, I've got a lot of friends that swing Monstas because we're kind of in ASA country here, and they're like, oh, it's going to be 60 degrees. I'm going to have to find something else to swing. Or can I borrow your ASA bat? Or, oh, I'm going to have to use my U-Trip bat. Man, like, but you buy a bat, man. You want to freaking use it all the time. And I'm going to go over all that in my video. I'm going to say all that. But here is the footage. You're seeing it firsthand. And this is another one of those deals. I could have this smashed out by the end of this podcast if it wasn't for doing all the compression stuff, doing the scale stuff, and all that other jazz. But I feel like I've kind of spoiled you guys with that. So for something to not have it, I feel like would just kind of be a letdown, because I know that some people do enjoy that stuff for a lot of reasons. That's actually kind of one of the things I did want to talk about today. We're done watching this crap. It's kind of one of the things I did want to talk about today is like compression testing and why it's relevant to bat reviews. And my biggest thing with the compression testing in the bat reviews, so I think some people think it's specifically for, does this bat pass or fail? And it really doesn't have anything to do with does this bat pass or fail. Like, that's not the only reason we're doing it. There is more to it. Like, compression testing is obviously a measurement of performance in the aspect of the lower the compression, the better the bat is going to perform. There's still other variables that go into that, but for a very general statement, the lower the bat tests, the better it's going to hit. So if I throw a bat on the tester and... Sorry, I gotta minimize this chat. Dude, I get so distracted reading the chat. So if I throw a bat on the tester and I see it's testing like 320, I'm thinking, all right, yeah, so this thing is going to need a little bit of breaking in. So to be fair, I will put swings on it to get it loosened up for the review, to, just to try and get it down into the 270-ish range, just to at least keep it somewhat of a level playing field. Some bats are going to test different, and some bats still hit well when they test that high, which that's something we kind of experienced with the Louisville's yesterday. And so you've got this gauge of things. You've got how is it out of the wrapper, and then the other thing it's going to tell us is how fast is it going to break down. That can give us somewhat of an idea on durability. Is it going to be something that starts really high and drops fast? Like we had some of the D Marinis for the last couple of years, the U-Trip models, they were testing almost 400. Within 50 swings, they're down into the 280s. And within another 50 swings, they're failing compression. So not only does it tell me what this thing's going to be like out of the wrapper, it's going to tell me how fast it's breaking in, how it's progressing, is it ready? So it's giving you performance, it's giving you durability, and there is the other side of things, that is people that do have their bats tested. When I say a small fraction of my viewership, I can't speak on anybody else's channels, but a very small fraction of my viewership worried about compression and how things are going to pass or fail at a tournament. But again, the other side of it is like last year, we're talking about bats that get down below 200 in 100 swings. How long does it stay there? Is it going to hang around there? Like a lot of the Eastons from the last 2 or 3 years start out 250, 260. They're at 220 within 60 or 70 swings, and within 100 more, they're testing 180, and you're thinking, God, this thing's about to break. But I've got a friend of mine that's got a bag full of Eastons, multiple Eastons, all that have, God, I mean, close to 1,000 swings on them, and they're all hovering right around between 180 and 160. That is the reason for the stamp change, because every bat gets down way below where it should be, way past the legal standard. And I understand that you're playing places that don't have the legal standards. I'm sorry, that don't have compression testing and that kind of thing. But it's also a safety standpoint from the fact that the bat is doing something it wasn't manufactured to do, it wasn't intended to do, based on UTRIP's testing standards, because they do still test these things because it has to be safe. They're all about safety. Even if you're playing somewhere that doesn't compression test, they want you using equipment that's at least within their given parameters, so they can say, all right, we did this to avoid injury. We did this to maintain player safety. We did this to maintain the level playing field to an extent. You're always going to have cheaters no matter what, wherever you go. But when these bats are way exceeding the standard that they were meant for, that's when you run into issues. And I feel like personally is another reason for the stamp change. And I'm here for the stamp change. I think 100% it is a good thing. I know it's an unpopular opinion. I know a lot of people think it's a money grab. Dude, it's absolutely not. I do not feel that way at all about the situation. I think it had everything to do with player safety, and I'm here for it. I really am. That's you boys 2 bits on the 240 bats. Let me get caught up with the chat here now that I'm not talking about anything. What's up, Gio? How you doing? Thanks for the love on the tournament last week, and had a blast. Had a lot of fun. We'll talk about that here in a minute too. Sustained a very unique injury that I'm still not really sure about. See, Devin says them Jennies are absolute fire. Yeah, the Genesis are good, man. They are so much fun. Let's see. Making me a little list of stuff to talk about here as we go. What's everybody doing for the weekend? They got plans? Playing softball anywhere? Chilling out? What's everybody doing? And I guess I never really got back full circle on what I was talking about with the Monsta either. So the review on that will be coming. I've been trying to get a couple more ASA bats in from this year, just so I can do a little bit of a side-by-side comparison for myself and for the other viewers. Because like I said, the thing was nice. I will say that kind of experimenting and dabbling around in this Monsta stuff while I'm kind of on topic of it, I have found stuff that's way better than this Bombardier, as some people are telling me to say it in the chat here. the Carl bat. It's one Carl bat was good, then one Carl bat was great. That's I don't know. I don't know. I picked something that I thought was going to fit my standards and my preferences. I say my standards, what I look for in a bat and the preferences that I had, and I don't know. I don't know enough about any of them to know which one's which, but what is it? Is it the Malefilis? Is that how you say that? I don't know what the difference between the Malefilis and the bat that I got is, but the Malefilis is a bazooka. And again, I'm not saying it's head and shoulders better than anything else I've ever swung in my life. I've got all kinds of radar content footage that I'm going to get through editing, because that will take a while, because it's not just standard BP that I need to finish up editing. And no Monsta stood out. Actually, ironically, one of the best bats we swung was an old dinosaur Easton Stealth. see. G. Helping Brian Fisk procrastinate at the office. What do you know? Devin says, playing C-ball here in Louisiana and haven't been able to play in a month because teams call and say they aren't playing if we are in the tournament. So not good. Bad problem here in Louisiana. Yeah, so that was an issue here a few years ago with a couple of certain teams. They would sign up and everybody would back out. So I personally feel like the director should hide who signed up for a majority of reasons. Like there was a time when Resmondo signed up for, I don't even think it was a huge tournament. It was an open tournament, and they signed up to play. It's like, what the hell? It's right here. I don't know why they chose St. Louis, Missouri to come play. It wasn't a major. It wasn't anything other than just a tournament to, I don't know if they just wanted to show up, get some swings in. I do not know, but everybody saw that they were signed up, and they had so many teams back out that it was basically the director had to call them and say, hey, look, these people are threatening to leave. If you show up, it's you guys or all of these teams that want to quit because you're playing. That's dumb. One, hide who's showing up, and B, one and B. Herp. You want to do letters or numbers? Let's do letters. So A, you know, hide who's showing up so you don't have this issue, and B, just shut up and play. How do you know what they were bringing? Maybe they were just bringing some guys they wanted to give tryouts to. I mean, I'm sure they were still going to have half of their good squad there, but like, why are we so hung up on one team that's there? You still got to get there to play that team. I mean, yeah, are they going to walk away with the tournament? Probably, but what about all the other games to get there? You're not playing them every game. That's dumb. I don't like it. Adam says, yeah, turning 90 minutes into 7 minutes is time consuming. Dude, you ain't lying. It definitely can be at times. Gio, you were saying, anybody notice that the song I'm playing in the background is CM? What are you talking about? Now this one is GM. What are you talking about? Obviously the song isn't playing anymore, but it's the same old playlist that I always play. I mean, y'all busy in the chat this morning. So what kills me about when you are about to say something in a video, whether it be dropping knowledge or busting chops. Oh, well, sometimes I try and leave that stuff in there, but dude, I'm gonna tell you something. We are a bunch of foul-mouthed people, and thank God for editing, because there would be some very colorful things out there on the internet. It's not like we're, saying terrible, awful things, but I do know that there's people that watch these at work. There's people that watch these with their kids around. And there's people that like play them on their TVs in their homes. I'm not saying everybody does that. But I try to maintain at least PG most of the time. Every once in a while I might let something fly. But it's probably because I'm getting ready to talk a mean line of crap that probably doesn't need to be on the internet if I've got a very dynamic group of people watching this. Also, Ethan says Bombardier. It's a French aerospace company. Is that what the bat is named after? I mean, obviously that would make sense with the design of the bat. I thought the bat looked cool too. That was half the reason I went with the Bombardier. Apparently, they say it does sound French. It sounds very fancy. It's way too sophisticated for me. Speaking of sophisticated, I got this friend of mine. He's a really cool dude, man. It's him and his wife. They don't have no kids. They have a very nice house, and their house is decorated to the nine. I mean, it's a very nice house. And my kids are there running around doing their thing, and he's got his dog, and they're outside playing with the dog. And he says, "Hey, man," he says, "spray the dog with the water hose. He likes to eat the water. He thinks it's fun to play with the water." So kids are outside playing with the water hose, and Next thing you know, here comes a kid up on the porch, dripping wet. I'm talking like dripping wet. Like he just like jumped into a pool, got out, and then walked up the porch. I look back there, and the kids are back there just soaking each other with the water hose. I was like, all right, this is done. Here we are at these people's house. They got all this nice furniture, this nice house, and I'm not about to let my kids go in here soaked to the bone running around in this house. So I had to be the party pooper and pack them up and send them home. But you talking about French and fancy things made me think about friends and the fact that we had to bail on them. Let's see, still catching up here. I'm almost done, I think. Golly, y'all are busy. I feel like I skipped something somewhere. There we go, French Aerospace Company. Jason says, how much time before you can turn on the camera are you doing a pocket check? Yeah, definitely got to start doing pocket checks more often. It's just one pair of shorts. All right, or that style of shorts, I should say. It drives me nuts. But I've been making it a conscious effort if I'm wearing them to make sure that my pockets are tucked in. Even when I go to league, it's like a paranoia thing now to make sure the pockets are checked in. So Aram says it makes sense. It's designed to hit softballs in if the weather gets too cold. The balls are harder. So what he's referring to is the Monstas being different in different temperatures. Like to me, maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my matter of opinion. I don't know, but I feel like it needs to be the same across the board. Like it's meant to hit one ball, and that one ball isn't all that temperature variant, but the words that were used with me from an extremely reliable source within the company, and this is not someone that I personally talked to, but basically, the hotter it is, the ball just turns to mush, and then it makes the bat perform better. I don't understand why we just can't have something that can perform the same all the time. It's just frustrating to play the temperature game. Is there any way to get a bat on our team heavier than 28 ounces? Have a bigger dude on our team who's around 290 pounds. I don't know of a whole lot of companies that are making 30s anymore. So I heard an interesting fact a while back. I was sitting in on kind of a little bit of a conference call with a bat company. There was a few reps all in on a conference call with a bat company, and they are basically phasing out the heavier bats, mostly because like 28s in last year, the year 2020, this company, 28 ounce bats accounted for 5% of their sales. 5%. It's very hard to make something and say 5% of people are going to buy this, so let's make some. That's a hard sell. That's a hard push. I would suggest hitting the used market because there's definitely plenty of 28s out there on the used market. And doing that, there's still, I want to say Pure might still make 30 ounce bats. I know Easton used to. Mikan might in a handful of their U-Trip models. I can't say anything about that. I don't think anybody's making 30s in the 240s. But there's still some out there. You're just going to have to search and try and find some 30s and things like that. My suggestion, definitely, if you're wanting to get up into those weights, you can find stuff, but it's going to be older stuff, which is still great. Let's see. I'm not playing GSL State. Just hanging out here at the Hizzy. Are you going to play? Are you going to be live? I definitely plan on watching some games. Maybe we'll go live on Facebook and watch some games. If I don't have to work, that is. Nick Ray, what's up, dude? Nick playing GSL State. Yeah, Mike, I'm hoping to be able to swing the mid-season drop DeMarinis. I need to get some stuff moved around here. I got a couple bats I need to sell that could really free up the ability to order those and get those going. So hopefully we can get that going. Eric says the senior tournament got canceled. Dude, that sucks. Yeah, D-Mac, you're late. Come on, man. I'm almost caught up. Look at me. Gio, if you're asking me what do I think of the Thunder ASA, the ASA ZNs, you might be talking to Brian. I don't know. I don't know. The ZNs are a good ball as far as like ASA stuff goes. I feel like the ZN is a good ball. Obviously, I'm an evil junkie by nature. But if I was going to hit something that wasn't an evil, it'd probably be an X-Rock or a hot dot. I really like the hot dots. The hot dots are nice too. The availability of the X-Rocks isn't all that great around here. So a lot of people hit hot dots in leagues and things like that. But the hot dots are good. Make sure you get the Psychos. The SYCO is basically a synthetic cover. It's like a synthetic, what do they call it? Like a synthetic leather type cover. Those are good. So for me, it would definitely be Evil X-Rock and then the hot dots as well. The ZNs are good, but I feel like there's other balls that hold up better cover-wise. I've hadn't seen some issues with the ZNs and the covers not lasting very well. Let's see, Music for All. The bats will be selling. I've got they're all 240s. I've got the Creature. I've got the Freak 9R. What else is there? I got both of these Louisvilles that I just reviewed yesterday. I'll be selling. I'll have an ASA Freak 23 to sell. I've got a couple of these throwback bats to sell. I mean, there's a handful of stuff here that I'm sitting on. I got to get rid of. The only thing I'll have for ASA USA will be the Freak 23 once I'm done with it. Snack says never buy synthetics. I mean, it's a psycho. It says it right on the cover. That's what we hit on Saturday. Because your boy here is a genius and completely forgot to put in a call to get some softballs coming from the evil one. I texted him on Tuesday and said, hey man, you want a podcast on Thursday? And that's when it hit me like a ton of bricks that I hadn't ordered softballs. And we can't get evils anywhere around here. That's kind of frustrating. So we couldn't get those anywhere around here. So it's like my hand was forced. I had to do something. Evils or X-Rocks are not available around here. So I didn't opt to go with the hot dots for the weekend. But I learned my lesson. I got some evils on the way for the next time I need them. Yeah, Batflip Bros. Yeah, loving the throwback stuff, man. It's been a blast. I've got another one that I just filmed. I have a lot of people reach out to me saying they've got stuff they want to send me for throwback stuff. So I've got, I'm going to be working with a couple of people to get some stuff done. Eric sent me a really cool one. I'm excited to swing. So I'm really looking forward to those. Mike says he loves how it slipped in, buy a new hat. Yeah, buy yourself a dang hat. What's everybody waiting on? Speaking of which, I got to go to the post office with an armload of stuff. When I get done here, a hat included. So Jason says, let's say I want to get some more BP balls. What should I get for these new 240 bats? And where should I order the evils from? Man, just get the evils straight off of the website. Probably be the best place to get them. I don't know what they've got in stock for BP balls. I know it's kind of hit or miss, and I think they're still waiting on rockets to come in. But depending on the 240 bat you're swinging, like when it comes to bats like that, where we're not 1,000% sure what we're dealing with durability wise yet, I would just suggest a mix of 52s and some BP rockets if you can find some. If not, use some Pro-Ms, but just know that the Pro-M is going to break the bat down way faster than a BP rocket would. The BP rocket is a higher core, so it's not going to spend a ton of time on the bat as opposed to the Pro-M that's going to get deep into the bat before it comes back off of it. Even though the BP rocket is a hard ball and it flies far, just as far or further than a Pro-M, the high core is really what it gets it off the bat and not spending a lot of time compressing the bat. It's kind of like a short, quick blow instead of a big, heavy one. Yes, next. I've had hats in stock for, gosh, a while now. I haven't done it. I will say I haven't done a good job of promoting that, but I mean I've been stocking hats for the last year or so. DMAC, what's the weight on the KP ASA that you might sell? It's a 27. Always try and review 27s any chance I can. Eric, I would like to review the Anderson bat. I saw the Bat Bros did one of his videos on some kind of Anderson. I didn't check out the video, but it looks like Anderson is making some more composite bats again. So it would be interesting to see. I think the last composite Anderson I swung was the Ambush, and well, that was an adventure. Ended up making a good BP bat though. Like the weighting on it was really smooth. The performance wasn't great, but the weighting on it was really smooth. It was easy to swing, so it was something that you could just hit in BP and be able to get settled in and get into a good groove just because of how smooth it did swing. My guy Sammy, what's up, Sammy? You recovered from the weekend yet? So this weekend was the Show Me Games, the Show Me State Games. If you don't know, Missouri is technically called the Show Me State. And they always have, every year they have what is called the Show Me State Games, where basically it is what it sounds like. Everybody kind of goes out and competes in what you might consider like the Olympics for Missouri. They have everything. They have youth sports. They have basketball, softball, weightlifting. I mean, you name it. There's all kinds of stuff. And they have a slow pitch softball in there. And I have been absolutely plagued with taking third place in the Show Me Games for years. I couldn't tell you how many men's teams I've been on that took third place. We played E, we played D, we played down to E again, we played D. One year, we played men's and co-ed and took third in both. Like, what gives? But this year, I got a little frustrated. There wasn't much of a turnout. Usually there's a pretty decent turnout for the Show Me Games. But for whatever reason there wasn't this year. I know there's a handful of tournaments going on in other places that kind of drew teams away. I know that their hands are tied as far as like when they need to do things, because the Show Me Game stretches over a series of weekends. It's not just one weekend, everything goes on. It stretches out over, I want to say, a series of 5 or 6 weeks, maybe even longer than that. Because there's that much stuff going on. They do track and field. I mean, you name it, they do it. And they usually have like a strict schedule of this weekend, this weekend, this weekend, this weekend. And it never fails that the weekend that they want to have the softball, slow pitch softball, there is tournaments going on elsewhere. There's a U-Trip tournament in St. Louis, NSA State usually falls on that weekend as well. And for whatever reason, teams all went elsewhere. And we ended up with 7 teams. I signed my team up for C. I built my team to play C because I wanted the 5 home runs. I had a lot of big sticks in my lineup that day. So I wanted the 5 home runs. And even instead, what kind of frustrated me with that situation is even instead of doing even a run spot, you know, we were the only C team that ended up signing up. And they just threw us into the D and basically said, here you go play D. Man, I mean, we had a lot of meat on our squad. I shouldn't say we weren't cut out to play D. Usually you can use a little bit of back control and work around that thing. But I put this team together to hit home runs. And granted, 2 home runs doesn't sound like a ton. But if you use there's a lot of variables that go into this. You use those 2 home runs correctly, it could make a significant difference in the runs you score, and it could let everybody free swing for a little bit longer. And when I say free swing, I don't mean hit solos when you feel like it. I mean you can swing without tight cheeks. Like, oh God, I don't want to hit the last home run. If you've only got 3 to use, you can, if you get sitting on 2 home runs, you can drive a gap and not worry about using the last one because you still got 2 more left after that. It opens up a lot of different scenarios that would let the team that I built be able to free swing. But we ended up playing down to D rules. And we still had a fun weekend. Don't get me wrong. I wasn't like walking around moping or complaining or actually, I don't think I said a word to anybody other than a couple of my friends that I was a little disheartened that we weren't able to. I was willing to give out a run spot just for the home runs. But it just didn't work out. We ended up playing D and actually got second place this year. So we're moving up. We're moving on up. The only team that beat us on the day, beat us by 1 run twice. The first game was we had a bit of a blunder, a base running blunder. We ended up using a pinch runner that ended up coming up in the inning and really bit us in the butt. There was 1 out. Our 3-hole hitter was on first base. And basically my leadoff guy didn't have a choice. He had to hit a ball into the gap, or they were just going to pitch around everybody. I should say everybody. They're going to pitch around the 2-hole guy to get to the 3-hole guy who was my best hitter and make him take an out. So my leadoff guy needed to either get a hit into the gap so the guy could score from first, or he needed to draw a walk. So there's still only 1 out. You walk to get to him. You walk to get to my 3-hole guy. Then at least there's 2 outs. And you've got runners in pretty good situations. But it didn't work out that way. So we ended up losing that game by 1 run, and that was tough. So we played our second pool play game, won it pretty easy. Our first elimination game was against the 79ers. If you're familiar with St. Louis teams, you know these guys. Now, I've never beat them. They show up and they hit. They roll about 20 deep, and I'm pretty sure all of them play at some point in the day, it feels like. And I've never. It's just one of those teams that's usually who ends up knocking us out. Is one of the teams we just can't get past. If we do have to play them, they end up getting us. And I think they've actually won the Show Me games a couple of times as well. But we ended up knocking them out and then getting back to the championship against a team that we lost our first game to in the day, and ended up losing it by 1 run again. It was frustrating, but at the same time, you lose to one team by 1 run twice. Like, there's nothing more fun than competing and getting those games in. It's a lot of fun, especially when you're playing against friends. A lot of the guys that I had on my team were locals or from St. Louis, and even my locals were familiar with a lot of the St. Louis guys, and the team that we were playing was from St. Louis as well. So it kind of felt like just a bunch of guys out balling and having fun. I mean, obviously, we're out there still pretty, I will say, pretty cutthroat softball, trying to get a win in. And it was fun to compete, especially knowing all these guys and knowing what they do. They know what we want to do. It was fun. And in succession of that, all in there somewhere, I have did the damnedest thing to my thumb. I had a ball hit back at me on the mound, and I'm set up to catch the ball. I mean, like, glove out, open, ready for the ball to go in. And it tails down at the last second and hits me in like the top of my thumb. And I swear to you, it felt like my thumbnail hit my elbow. That's how far back it felt like it went. My thumb. I feel like it bent so far back that it hit me in the elbow, man. I mean, it was. I had to like look at my glove to make sure my thumb wasn't like dislocated or something. I've had a lot of hard balls hit back at me. Some I feel this, some I haven't. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying I sucked everything up, because I ended up missing this ball. Like I said, it tailed down and went off my glove. But man, the thumb itself just felt really, really jammed. It still does. But the end, I don't know. It's like weird because the end of my thumb is extremely tender, and for whatever reason, I don't know what I did. I don't know what's screwed up in there. Swinging a bat was an adventure yesterday for those Louisville videos, but I got it done. But whatever damage is done to my thumb, it's actually, the skin isn't bruising, but it's bruised underneath. Like my thumbnail is bruised. My thumbnail is blue from getting hit somewhere in the thumb. It didn't even, I know it didn't hit the top of my thumb, but somehow, some way, I took a ball off the thumb and my thumb is extremely sore. The very end of it hurts really, really bad. There's some things I can do, some I can't. I don't think it's broken, but I don't know what to really think of it. I've never jammed a thumb. It's essentially, it feels like just a really bad jam thumb, but I've never jammed a thumb so bad that my thumbnail turned blue like it was going to fall off. So I'm not really sure what's going on here. I thought day of, I was 100% certain that CJ guaranteed to lose the game. I was 100% certain that my thumb was broke. I mean, I couldn't hardly swing the bat. I had to have one of my buddies basically pull my glove onto my hand to get it on because I just couldn't. I couldn't do it. I tried pulling it on and I couldn't. It's kind of one of those deals like you sit there and I was trying not to look at it, trying not to mess with it because it was fat. I mean, it was swollen up big time. I got fat thumbs anyway. But man, I'm telling you what, my thumb couldn't have fit into the big bowling ball at the bowling alley. It was so swollen up. I had to have somebody pull my glove onto my hand, pull my batting glove onto my hand, pull my batting glove back off. It was a doozy, and I guess if that's the only battle wound I've got from the weekend, then it is what it is. I was glad that I was still able to get those Louisville reviews in because I wanted to get those knocked out. I had a little bit of a priority on those to get those done. So at least it wasn't screwed up enough that I couldn't hit. I do have league tonight. I'm hoping to be able to catch or something, but I did see in our group chat that somebody else is requesting to catch. So that's cool. Can't wait to take another ball off my thumb again tonight. But it is what it is. There was one more thing. Stand by, my friends. Stand by. Oh, okay, so Jason, I'm trying to pull up your article here from Mike and basically taking its operation overseas. It looks like Mike and I assume Mike and Anworth are going to take their manufacturing overseas, from what I can gather. Minnesota facility. The article of the title of the article is Minnesota facility that makes softball bats and MLB helmets to close, and basically it's going to send all that work overseas, from what I gather. And somebody asked me how I felt about that, and really, to be genuinely honest with you, it's not a good thing to say, but it is what it is. Like, I don't like that people have lost their jobs. I don't like that things aren't being made here, because those are all things that our economy needs, especially in the day and age that we're in with the economy and things like that, and the work situations. People losing jobs is not a good thing. But at the same time, there are plenty of places that are dying for help and can't get any. So what do you do? But all that to say that there's so many things made overseas that one more thing's not going to hurt anything anyway. From what I gather anyway, most of the pieces for those bats, I don't know about anything else in their facility, but from what I gather, everything for those bats is made overseas and shipped here anyway. It sounds like they're just going to be assembling them there and then sending them here now. So, am I worried about it? Am I going to get excited about it? What do I think about it? I think it's just another thing made in China that we're all going to use. We can all try and avoid and buy USA made anywhere we can, and I try to. But at the end of the day, it is what it is. That's what I'll say about it, really. I know it's not the right approach to have, but we rely on other countries for manufacturing and work so much that this is going to be no different. Everybody's still going to buy them. Everybody's still going to use them. So, it is what it is. Brian says, go get an x-ray at my thumb. So he did look at it and kind of mess with it a little bit. He thinks that basically there's some like tendon damage, maybe a little bit of arthritis in the end of it, just from the shot that it did take. We're going to kind of play it by ear. It's slowly getting better. The end of the thumb is still really tender, but I'm starting to get some movement back in the joint a little bit. It's doing a lot of clicking and grinding. I don't know if I can hear it clicking and grinding right now. I held up the mic. I don't think you can hear it. But I think it's slowly going to get there. It's still pretty swollen, and I'm probably going to lose part of this thumbnail, but it's all good, man. Snack says, don't do the dumb man thing and avoid going to the doctor. Like I said, it's still getting better. If it gets to a point where a lot of it is better and there's still that one bothersome spot, I will go. But that's going to the doctor is a sore subject right now. That's all I'm going to say. So I'm trying to avoid that place as much as I can. Yeah, Mitchell, you did miss the thumb talk. You rewind, go back and listen. Basically just talking about how I think I'm going to lose part of my thumbnail. It's still really swollen. It's still really sore. And a picture that I can't post here. So I'm not even going to, I can't tell the story without, okay. Reset. I can't believe I've already been talking for an hour. That's kind of crazy. You guys listen to me for an hour, just ramble about almost nothing. Talking to the chat. Talking about my thumb. Talking about the show me games. Talking about bat testers. I will say I'm looking forward to the majors coming up. Major World Series. Watching all that stuff. I haven't watched a ton of conference softball this year. I'm telling myself there. Usually I like to, but I just honestly haven't had the time to sit down and do it. So I'm really looking forward to being able to check all that out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hopefully they have a home run derby this year and they go live and we can watch all that stuff. Maybe, just maybe have some kind of little watch party or something like that. We'll have to see what's going on. But if there are people live on Saturday and I don't have anything going on around the house here, I don't think I do, like I said, unless I have to work, then maybe we could do us a little watch party and watch a couple of games. Or if anybody is going to be at the ballpark and going live for what might be the championship of GSL State, we are totally in to watch that. Maybe we could even talk the director into going live or helping somebody. Maybe somebody can help him go live and I can broadcast it that way. That does kind of sound like fun just to watch the championship games. I do think that D&C is at the same park. I don't know about game times. I don't even know if they've put them out yet. But it would be kind of cool maybe to like watch the D and the C championships if they don't overlap. So maybe some ideas there. I like where this is going. CJ and his squad probably going to be in the championship after they played through the loser bracket all day. For D, there's a lot of good D teams going down there. It might be anybody's. It is going to be anybody's to win. There's going to be a lot of. You know what? Actually, I bet Bash is just steamrolling D this year. I'm not even sure. What are they going by? I don't think they're going by Bash anymore. Whatever they're going by, they're a great ball team. Honestly, and I mean it when I say they're playing D, and I don't care. There's people complaining, oh, their record this and their record that, and they've won this, and they should have been bumped and carried on, and yada, yada. Dude, who cares? This goes back to show up and play. The most you're going to have to play them is twice. What about all the other teams there? You know, that's the moral of the story with that. They are red freaking hot. They're a great softball team, and I mean it when I say that they are probably one of the best defensive teams in the state. That's a bold statement to make, but when they have everybody there, good luck getting the ball through that infield. Their outfield runs everything down. Logan's a great pitcher. If they show up to play GSLD State, there's a pretty decent chance it's theirs to lose. Hopefully somebody from their team goes live. They can have themselves a couple of Sonic innings and go live and make it through the day and maybe we can watch them play in the championship. So it sounds like we might have some plans for Saturday. We'll see where it takes us. But the hour is up. I've did enough rambling. I need to go to the post office and go to bed. So, with all that said, thanks for stopping in and checking out the podcast today. I hope you enjoyed it. If this is by chance the first one that you've ever sat through, we do these every Thursday, 10 a.m. Central. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Turn on your notifications so your phone goes off every time we go live or post a video. Swing hard in case you hit it the next time you go play softball. And I'll catch you next time.